has ever homered in the first game of 8 consecutive series.
Oh, here we go. It's on.
1-0. Swinging a fly ball, well hit, left field, and he's done it! It's a great 8, and it's number 15 overall.
In the air to left field, Rosarena at the wall.
start for him, but he's still one of the anchors of this team. And they have the big three, Raleigh, Rodriguez, and Naylor, hitting in the middle of this lineup.
Anthony Kay, let him know.
They're not looking for a lot of changeups. They're looking for inside pitches, which is where Anthony usually stays. But you see that changeup? That's how he got Refsnyder. That's how he gets Raleigh. And this is the one guy I worry about in their lineup, because he looked last night like things are starting to come together for him.
Julio Rodriguez homered in the game last night. Over his last 9 games, hitting .333, 4 home runs, 8 runs driven in. Slashes this one into center field. First hit of the game goes to Julio Rodriguez.
We told you things were getting a little better for him. Now this is a pitch out of the strike zone at 96. He takes it right back up the middle. But the fortunate part was that Kay kept it down. So a hard hit ground ball is just that. You strike out 2. Now you got to deal with the guy that has been nails against the Sox.
First pitch in there, strike 1 to Josh Naylor. In 30 career games at Rate Field, hitting .376.
And all time against the Sox. I mean, those numbers are ridiculous. But he's got them.
Sometimes there's just that guy, when they see another name across the jersey, he sees the Chicago, he sees the White Sox, he just takes it to another level.
That really shows you what confidence can do for a hitter. He's confident that doesn't matter who he sees in a White Sox uniform, he's going to get some good swings, and he's shown just that. If he had that feeling against all teams, he'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Legit.
Yep.
Couple of strikeouts for Kay and a single there to Rodriguez on at first. And he will now step off.
Rodriguez ran a great deal early in his career, but he's not running all that much. He's swiped 3 bases, been caught 1 time.
Two balls and a strike. There he goes. Throw down by Caro. Got him. Edgar Caro. Let him know. A good start to this ball game for your Chicago White Sox. When we come back, bats to the plate. And it'll be this man, Munetaka Murakami. He is tied for the lead in Major League Baseball with 15 home runs this season.
I had to say.
Take a look at the starting lineup for your Chicago White Sox. Sam Antonacci at the top. Munetaka Murakami in the 2-hole, where he has settled into so nicely. Vargas, Montgomery, Mydrop. Benintendi was in the original lineup. He was a late scratch. We will have more on that as this game goes on.
Luis Castillo used to be a #1. Now he's a very steady pitcher, on for his 8th start with an ERA up close to 6. This is how he's going to use his stuff. 4-seamer first and foremost, a 45%, backed up by the slider. The slider actually his best pitch. The sinker comes next, and then the changeup. Thing with Castillo, kind of reverse splits. He's gotten hammered by the right-hand hitters. That's why I think Vargas is going to have a good night against Castillo.
Sam Antonacci leads things off. Big swing and a miss there. The White Sox really like having this rookie at the top of the lineup for the way he controls the zone. He's very much a contact hitter at the plate and can get on base.
And one thing Will talked about is the fact that steals are a big part of Sam's game. He wants him to refine the technique a little bit, because he says he's got to be that kind of a guy if he's going to lead off. He's got to be able to use him in stolen base situations.
But with the way Murakami is hitting behind him, just get on base.
Well, that's what he does. I mean, that is the profile. Last year got hit 39 times. This year he's been hit a few times. He's not afraid to take a walk on occasion, but he's also swinging the bat a lot better these days.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now, many times on a pitch like that, you don't necessarily have to get the lead elbow, especially when it's padded up, out of the way quite as quickly.
He has not been afraid to get hit by the baseball. Slashes this one into left, and it's going to get down in front of Rosarena. Antonacci, a wide turn at first, goes back to the bag. A single to start it off. Here is that man, Munetaka Murakami. He has brought so much buzz and life here to Rate Field.
And with the wind blowing out the way it is, he hit the ball out to left field last night. All you got to do is lift a fly ball, and with his strength, it'll go out tonight.
First pitch running, Antonacci. And there is the stolen base.
Second stolen base of the year, and we'll watch the jump again. Watch his first step. He kind of steps back with the right foot. It's a crossover step with the left, and he beats the play easily. And the main thing is, when you go in that hard, you got to keep contact with the bag.
It's already runner in scoring position here for Murakami. A home run last night. That's now 8 straight series where he has homered in the first game of this series. It is remarkable what he is doing.
The thing is, anytime you do something that's never been done in this game, which, by the way, started in the 1860s, that's pretty impressive. And as far as home run leaders, he and Judge are tied with Schwarber, Olsen, and Alvarez behind him at 13.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Oh, and let's not forget he also has 29 runs batted in. That is tied for the American League lead. Two. This one is popped up. It is into right. As Refsnyder waiting for it to come down. Antonacci tagging, goes to third, and he will advance.
Refsnyder didn't set up very well because the wind grabbed that ball, so he thought he was in the proper position, but he was backing up when he made the catch. Heads up base running by Antonacci. Watch it again. Young thinks he's got a chance, and watch Refsnyder. It's a decent throw, just not good enough. Dan Wilson has decided that he's going to bring the infield in here in the first inning.
What does that tell you when a manager decides to bring the infield in so early in this game?
Well, a couple of different things. Number one, he expects that his team is going to score tonight, but he's coming in just in case Kay has a big night. Also, with nobody else on, you don't have much to lose by bringing him in.
Here's Miguel Vargas, 0-1. Up and in as Vargas comes up empty.
That fastball used to be in the high 90s, and now Castillo is just a dependable starter. Still a good fastball, just not quite as hard as it once was.
Runner on third with 1 out. These are the situations we were talking about. broadcast yesterday, Will Venable wants his team to be able to capitalize with runners in scoring position.
Vargas has seen a lot of pitches inside. Normally, you'll go with a slider here after showing him what he showed him, up and in a few times.
2-2. Got him swinging upstairs for out number 2.
Let's take a look at the defense and how they're going to line up. It's a Rosarena, Rodriguez, and Refsnyder in the outfield left to right, with Rivas, Crawford, Young, and Naylor at first base. You got Mitch Garver behind the plate. We told you about Castillo.
Well, this man is certainly streaking right now. Colson Montgomery steps in with a career-high 20-game on-base streak. And what's so impressive about what Colson Montgomery has done second half of last year, now this first part of the season start this year, is that even if there's a game or two when he goes off, gets off track, doesn't feel like his swing is comfortable, he knows how to get back on track quickly now.
Also another factor, John, is that he's still a very young hitter. I mean, he's young as far as the major leagues is concerned, and experience. He's going to get better. And right now we see signs of him being a dominant hitter in this league for a long time. Now that time he got anxious, expanded his zone, and he's in a hole 0-2.
And Tanachi takes his lead in foul territory at third.
By the backdoor slider. It didn't hit, but what Castillo does as well as anybody is elevate that fastball. You'll see the guys, especially guys with power, that he wants to throw a fastball just up and out of the zone.
All right, take a look at the live lines presented by Circa Sports. Sports betting the way it should be. We take a look at the home run odds for White Sox hitters tonight. Steve, who do you like?
I'm going with Vargas. That's the value play at plus 550.
Twenty pitches already from Castillo here in this first inning. Colson Montgomery, this one carrying to right. Refsnyder at the wall. It is gone. Colson Montgomery continues to stay hot at the plate. A two-run shot, and the Sox strike first.
We told you it's going to be a lively night at the ballpark, and Colson didn't get all of that one. Castillo tried to go with the high fastball. Colson said, you know what, I see this pretty well, I'm just going to hit it out. You see the location. This is up and in, and Montgomery just hits a towering fly ball, and that one goes out by a pretty good margin.
That home run replay was brought to you by Lexus. Experience amazing. And that was certainly something amazing from Colson Montgomery. It's now 21 games in a row that he has reached.
He's reached double figures in home runs, and he's driven in 28. We told you he's going to be one of the better run producers in baseball for a while.
Grounded to the left side. It is Rivas at third. And Maidras is retired. But how about that shot from Colson Montgomery?
Tried to get it up and in. He didn't get it up or in enough, and it cost him 2 runs.
That sword.
White Sox with a 2-0 lead thanks to this man, Colson Montgomery. Top of the second we go this half inning. It's brought to you by Wintrust. So Josh Naylor stays at the plate to start this second after Julio Rodriguez was thrown out to end the first.
Edgar Caro made a great throw, and that means that Naylor does not have a chance to hit a 2-run homer leading off the inning. And for Edgar, it's a big play for him. He's struggling with the bat. He's looking for answers, but when you make a defensive play that gets your team out of the first inning especially, that could really help tonight.
Naylor shows bunt.
We would invite him to bunt.
You talk to anybody with the Mariners, they say how He has such a baseball mind. He's so locked in when he's on the bench. He could be in a conversation with somebody next to him and still tracking every single pitch that the pitcher is throwing, so he knows what kind of pattern to expect when he goes up.
Another factor that's somewhat amazing is he put on the Mariner uniform, and apparently in the Northwest you run faster, because he became a base stealer and a real presence as far as leadoffs and great acceleration. He didn't do that with the Guardians very much, or the Diamondbacks.
Pops this one up. Colson Montgomery settling underneath, and there's one away here in the second. Let's go to Brooke for a scoop from the clubhouse.
All right, guys, I got some injury updates for you. Let's start with Kyle Teal. He took live BP today off of Eric Fetty. He also ran the bases. Will Venable said that marks the second straight day he's done that. He's going to run the bases again tomorrow, and then they're going to go from there. But remember, recovery has been the biggest thing for Kyle Teal, and just how he recovers from these activities. So they're going to keep an eye out, but hopefully a rehab assignment is coming really soon. Ball coming my way. All right, Austin Hayes, he also took live BP today, and he's going to run the bases tomorrow. So they're going to see how he feels. And Andrew Benintendi, you mentioned he was a late scratch. He's dealing with some neck tightness and some stiffness, if you will. So I'm going to follow up, and I'm going to get some more answers for you, but just wanted to give you an update on the injury front, guys.
All right, Brooke, good stuff. White Sox are progressing the young catcher Kyle Teal along. He had a lot of straight line running on that road trip in California. This is the next level, rounding bases, making turns, and then seeing how his body responds.
I talked to him before the game, and one of the things that he said was that he's feeling good enough to take swings, doesn't feel anything when he takes swings. He said he's probably running at 95% right now, and you said the turns and running the bases is critical, and hopefully the rehab is soon.
Anthony Kay, third strikeout already tonight.
Watch it again. Once again, this is a changeup. Now this one is inside, but equally as effective.
All right, so the last time Kay was on the mound, it was Sunday in San Diego. He switched up where he sets up on the rubber, and we can see he is on the first base side of the rubber again here tonight. It is something he is doing different to try to get his season on track. And Steve, explain how that helps a pitcher or gives a different look.
Well, in his case, he's keeping the ball mostly away from the right-hand hitters, and with where he is on the mound, it helps him stay there. And the first two strikeouts of Ref Snyder and Raleigh were both the same pitch, the changeup. Both of them just died away from the right-hand hitter. You see where he sets up. Pitchers will do that if things aren't working well. One of the adjustments you can make is moving to a different spot on the mound.
Gives the pitcher a different angle of attack. There's a different shape to your pitches as well, whether you set up on that third base, middle, or first base side of the rubber.
And all the hitters who look at the video, they weren't going to see him on the first base side of the rubber. They were going to see him more towards the middle. Look at the first two strikeouts. Look at the location. This is Ref Snyder. Changeup just dies away. Same thing with Raleigh. Goes to the change. It just dies away. Outstanding location. Good movement.
2-2 here to Crawford. Broken bat. Flare into left field. And Antonacci. Did he make it? Yes, he did. What a catch in left, as Anthony Kay loves the effort.
They worked very hard in spring training with trying to make him a part-time left fielder, and even with the sun, he comes on, makes the play, keeps it off the grass, and it's out of the inning. This is our All-State Good Hands replay, and you'll notice the sun is in his eyes. The glasses go flying, but the glove stays under the ball and keeps it off the grass, and it's out of the inning, and what a play that was. Pitchers are very happy about that, by the way.
That was a very genuine hug. You could tell Kay is a guy who is searching to have some consistency, and that's a huge play for him.
A lot of guys in this league now are diving after they catch the ball. That was a flat out dive. It's the only way he could catch the ball.
Is that one of those deserves a dinner type catches, or not quite to that level?
If this score holds up, absolutely.
Okay. Especially when it's not your money.
McDonald's all around.
Maybe Taco Bell.
Yeah, or I don't know, that Vienna beef sign is very inviting over the left field wall.
Jared Kelenic leads things off here in the home half of the second inning. Kelenic, just 26 years old, broke into the major leagues with this Mariners team back in 2021, played 3 seasons in Seattle. And rips this one into right center field. You know Kelenic wants to have a big game tonight against his former team.
At one point, he was one of the highest rated prospects in baseball. Then he fell on some hard times. But this is a high strike. He drives it through the right side, and a good way to start the second inning.
Nobody out, runner on at first, and Rivas is playing in on the grass at third base because Tristan Peters is now at the plate.
Got to be careful about the play that we saw last night, which came from Raleigh behind the plate. I'm not sure if they do that with Garver, but it was a well executed pickoff. They caught Antonacci, and nobody looked at first until the tag was applied.
So Garver comes out of his crouch because Jared Kelenic faked the steal at first.
He's just checking if he can get a lead, and if he does, what Castillo is going to do with it. That's a pretty decent lead at first base.
1-0 count here to Tristan Peters. Big hack there. No sign of an early bunt here.
If he would decide to bunt, he would probably have to drag it because Rivas is in close at third. And if he did drag it, there has to be great coordination between Young at second and Naylor at first. Sometimes that coordination doesn't work very well, and you can beat the second baseman to the bag.
There's the bunt. It is popped up. As you can see, he was trying to drag it to that right side.
It's not an easy bunt to make because most guys prefer the push bunt. That would be at third base. But again, Rivas was in, so he tried to drag it. He wanted to bunt it between Young and Naylor so that Naylor has to field it. And then Young would have to come to the bag. And many times, unless you work on that a lot in spring training, you can't execute it very well. So good thought process by Peters.
That pickoff you were talking about of Antonacci last night at first base, that was the 8th pickoff for Mariners pitchers this season. That is tied for the most in Major League Baseball.
Anytime you can get it out without making a pitch, that's what you're looking for.
There goes Kelenic, and the pitch is fouled away.
This is what Will talks about a lot, and that is scoring runs without hitting a home run, because there are some nights where you're just not going to hit them, but you have to be able to manufacture runs, and we saw it early with Antonacci stealing second base. We saw it here as Will breaks out the hit and run.
Kelenic on the move again, and another one fouled away by Peters. Kelenic's like, wait, I got to go back.
Well, the best thing to do is you never ask Crawford. You always have to ask Dan Merzel, because occasionally middle infielders are known to lie to you, but Merzel won't. So heads up by Kelenic, who didn't take Crawford's word.
1 ball, 2 strikes here to Peters. Popped up. The White Sox dugout. And nobody gets there. That ball hung up in the air for quite some time.
Well, because the wind is blowing almost straight out, it took that ball, which should have been in the stands, and brought it back into the field of play. No chance at all for Garver. The catcher's not going to make that play. Rivas has to make it. But Peters gets another life, and you see, I mean, it's a pretty stout win tonight.
5 straight foul balls from Peters. As the count here remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. A pitch out. And Peters is asking if he foul tipped it, but home plate umpire says no. That's a swing and a miss, strike 3.
We'll watch it again. And this is supposed to be a pitch out. It's a four-seam fastball. You see where Garver is. He's not expecting that ball to be close to the plate.
So it is ruled a pass ball that allows Kelenic to advance to second.
That's where the pitcher makes a mistake and the catcher pays for it with an E2.
So it is Grichuk taking the place of Benintendi, and he is retired for out number 2. Let's go to Connor for some news and notes.
Not even Steve Nebraska could imagine this kind of heat. Jacob Mizorowski threw the 7 fastest fastballs ever registered in the pitch tracking era by a starter. 7 straight over 103 miles an hour. Patrick Bailey's on the move. He's the best defensive catcher in baseball. Now plays for Cleveland. Matt Wilkinson head back to San Francisco. Wilkinson's nickname is Tugboat, which is just awesome. The Cardinals combined on a 1-hitter. 3 pitchers did it. They're doing their best to keep pace with the Cubs in the NL Central.
All right, Connor, thank you so much. The really, really sad news of the day, and we're going to get into more of this as this game goes on. Bobby Cox, the legendary manager of the Braves, has passed away today at the age of 84. We're going to have more on just what he meant to the game. Steve, you have personal stories about him as well, but just wanted to touch on that. Just a really tough day for Major League Baseball.
I think he's 4th all-time in wins. He was a great manager. 14 straight division titles with the Atlanta Braves.
He was my childhood. I mean, I wasn't a Braves fan, but growing up in New York, the Braves were a national team because of TBS, and just watching him on a daily basis, he was the master of it. 2 outs here for Edgar Caro.
A lot of people don't realize that Bobby Cox also managed Toronto. And then with John Schuerholz becoming the GM in Atlanta, Bobby Cox went to the Braves, and the rest is history, and a pretty illustrious history.
Sox looking for more here in this second inning as Edgar Caro steps in.
One of the big things about the first couple of innings is that Castillo will deliver pitch number 43, and he's not out of the second inning yet.
Swing and a miss by Caro, and that'll end the threat here in this second. White Sox up early and lead it 2-0.
This copyright.
Welcome back. Top of the third we go. White Sox a 2-0 lead. This half inning is brought to you by Hyundai. Another good crowd here on this Saturday night. Thank you everybody for coming out and watching at home on CHSN with Connor McKnight, Brooke Fletcher, Steve Stone here in the booth. I'm John Schriffen. White Sox are playing better baseball. It was a tough one last night, losing to the Mariners in the opener of this series 12-8. But Steve, you said the ballpark playing very lively right now.
Kay's got pretty good stuff, and Garver was brought over to give them a little pop. Hard hit rate 53.6. That's very good in 18 games.
Kay has faced the minimum so far through 2, as he'll face the bottom 3 in the order here in this third inning. What have you thought about his stuff so far to start this game tonight?
It's been outstanding, and the changeup is much improved with perhaps the change in location on the pitching rubber.
0-2. Kay goes through his windup. It seems like such a simple change, but wherever you set up on the rubber can drastically change just the attack angle of the ball coming into the hitter.
Well, I think pitchers, especially those guys that struggle with command, they want to stay in the same place so they can get consistency.
Tapper, it is Kay pouncing on it, throws to first, and that one will get past Murakami as Kelnick will get it back in.
Going to be base hit E1, you would expect. Now Kay has some time, but he bobbled the ball and never got a grip on it. You can see him fighting that grip all the way as he went to get the baseball.
So officially it is scored as an E1 as Mitch Garver does not get a hit there.
It's kind of surprising. That's a tough play to make, especially for a left-hand pitcher who has to do almost a 360. Now watch Kay as he struggles with the grip. He's got it here. When he reaches in the glove, he does not get much of it, and then almost throws it with 3 fingers instead of 2.
What's the key for a pitcher in a play, a bang play like that, to compose yourself and be able to make an accurate throw?
First thing is knowing how fast the base runner is. He's dealing with a catcher here. Garver does not have burning speed. If you know that, then you can relax more getting to the ball. If you've got a burner, you realize you got to get to it quickly and get rid of it quickly. So it depends on the speed of the runner, and for a left-hand pitcher it's a lot more difficult, even though he falls off the mound to the third base side.
1-2 here to Cole Young. Slashes this one down the line, but foul. Now it's interesting that Mariners like to platoon guys and have specialists versus lefties or righties, but Cole Young, being a young guy, they believe he can be a star. They're allowing him to hit against lefties, and he saw basically half lefties in spring training to get him ready for this season.
Same thing with Colson Montgomery. He plays every day. And the best thing about it is he's really improved his game drastically in facing a left-on-left situation. So by playing him, he sees more of them, and eventually, if you have the skills, and he's got abundant skills, you're going to figure out that keeping in that right side is the key. Don't fly open, you get coverage middle away.
1-2. It's just interesting how some guys get labeled as a specialist for one type of pitcher, and other guys, they're given more runway to see what they can do.
They usually don't do it righty on righty, but they do it a lot lefty on lefty. And so it's one of those situations where you're almost guilty until proven innocent. But the great hitters, really doesn't matter much.
Runner on at second, nobody out here in this third inning. Nasty pitch from Kay. That's 4 strikeouts already.
You got him to a situation where he can throw the breaking ball. It's a perfect pitch. It looked like a strike until it disappeared just off the corner. And with a man at second base, that is a big out.
Bottom of the order is the third baseman, Leo Rivas. The switch hitter will bat from the right side. Of the 9 batters that Kay has faced, 8 first pitch strikes.
Rivas is usually in there for his defense.
For whatever reason, the Mariners has just had the White Sox number since the start of 2024. Kay trying to turn that around tonight. Mariners have won 12 of 14 versus the White Sox, including last night, since the start of 2024.
The Mariners have been a pretty good team. I mean, they've always had a lot of thunder, and the pitching staff. First it was just a starting rotation. Now it's the bullpen along with it.
The emergence of Cal Raleigh last season. Josh Naylor now settling in nicely, coming back to Seattle.
They also have a very strong farm system, and they've got a lot of talent coming up. So they're going to be a force for quite a while.
2-2 from Kay. So he's kind of grinding, knowing he's got to go after the 9-hole hitter here. Three-two, and he walks him.
This game is brought to you by Marquette Bank. Marquette Bank is Chicagoland's trusted neighborhood bank and home lender. Level up your banking with Marquette Bank at emarquettebank.com. Marquette Bank, love where you bank. That becomes a costly walk. You walk a guy hitting 143, and barring a double play, you face Raleigh this inning.
So an error and a walk have allowed runners on at first and second. Because of the struggles of Refsnyder to start the season, he's actually started losing at bats to Connor Joe, as the Mariners are still searching for some consistency offensively. Tapper to the left side. It is Vargas. He will step on third, and he locates it the second time.
He'll step on third twice. But he wanted to get rid of the ball very quickly, thinking about the double play. Finally, on the second touch, he gets the force.
You know Cal Raleigh's going to break out of his slump at some point. Just don't have it happen here in Chicago.
No, it would be very nice if he waited until they left town, and then he could hit it as much as he wants to.
Raleigh struck out swinging his first time up. Steps in with 2 down. As much fun as we had last year following the Raleigh and Judge race to see who would be MVP. Now the race is between Judge and Murakami to see who's going to be the home run leader.
That should go on all year long. Raleigh has much more power as a left-hand hitter.
Raleigh is now 0 for his last 26.
This will be interesting, and this is why the confrontation between pitcher and hitter is so fascinating. Raleigh knows he struck out on a changeup away. Kay knows he struck him out on a changeup away. Let's see what he goes to here.
Pitch number 50 tonight here for Anthony Kay. Wants to step off, take a little more time. Now comes to the plate. What would you do in a situation here, knowing you already got him on that changeup, have him in the hole 0-2?
I would throw a changeup, but I'd throw it off the plate. Invite him, if he wanted to, even if he's looking for it, invite him to expand his zone.
0-2.
Just like that, and Raleigh did a nice job of staying alive because that was a good change. Good location. It was just off the plate, and Raleigh had a wry smile on his face as if to say, well, I knew you were going to throw it. Yeah, but you didn't do anything with it.
Four pitches this at bat 4 pitches have been fouled away. Let's see if Kay has the answer. 0-2. Popped up. Murakami racing down the line. Coming on is Kelenic, and neither of them will get there. Foul ball.
That's where Kelenic has to just shout out, "I've got it," because for Mune, this is a really difficult play. If he's yelling here, "I got it," Mune would give way. As it turns out, they almost collide. Murakami went out too far. He didn't have much of a chance for this, as you can see. It's a much easier play for the right fielder, but you have to take command of the situation. A little scrape of the left hand.
As the throwing hand for Kelenic in right field. As the count remains 0-2. Six pitches, and they have all been fouled away by Raleigh.
Battling at bat. Kay knows that this is a big situation to win this battle. It's still 0-2. You don't have to throw a strike.
Kay calls the pitch from his glove. 0-2.
It was a nice play by Caro, making sure there's no advancement.
A lot of pitches here in this third inning. This will be number 28 for Kay. Missing down, ball 2. Two on with 2 out in this third inning. Slow roll to the left side. Montgomery gets the force at second. And a nice job by Anthony Kay to not give it in that at bat to Cal Raleigh.
You want sap?
Welcome back to the rate. Bottom of the third we go. White Sox with a 2-0 lead. We are pleased to be joined in the booth by Lily Shimbashi, who is the founder and CEO of Sports-ish. Pleased to have you in the booth. I love the tagline of your company, "Not your boyfriend's sports news."
That's right.
All right, so tell us how it came about and what it all is.
Absolutely. I grew up a huge sports fan in a family full of boys, 4 brothers, a dad who worked in sports, but I always felt like I was questioned about my validity as a sports fan because I was a girl. And quizzed, you know, like the name 5 players, so to speak. I graduated in sports broadcasting. I went to the NBA as a broadcast assistant and reporter, and really felt like there was a gap in the market for content for women. And it was stat heavy, and I liked storylines. I liked storylines over stat lines. I liked pop culture ties, fashion ties. There was so much more to the game than what happened on the field. I also loved to humanize these players. You know, it's more fun to root for people you know and you know about and you know their backstory. And so I kind of brought that together and created a platform called Sports-ish, and it's targeting female fans.
What's your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is hockey. Like honorable mention to baseball, of course.
Good answer.
But I grew up East Coast, and hockey was huge where I'm from. So I love hockey, love the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's a fun time right now.
What are some of the stories that you find that your audience has gravitated towards, specifically in the baseball field? Like, what are some of the big storylines that the people like?
Well, you look at the Dodgers, obviously, the champions, but like people like to know that Decoy, Shohei's dog, exists. They like to know that he had a baby girl. They like to know that he got married when he announced his wife and broke the internet, right? They like to know who Shohei is as a person, not just who he is as a player, which is phenomenal, as we know. And then Freddie Freeman, of course, has an incredible story with his son Max and having a heart defect and overcoming that during the World Series. And so I think people like to know who these guys are, and it makes them want to root for them. And I'm a fan of the White Sox. I'm a fan of the Dodgers. But I'm a fan of players and their stories most of all.
How easy or difficult was it when you started out to get the kind of stories that you're doing now?
It was a lot more difficult than it is now. But a lot of research. I'm a journalist by trade, and so I love to study who these people are, find out about how they were raised, who they were raised by, maybe who they're married to now. There's a lot of appeal to that. Women love that type of content, right? The wags, who these guys are married to. So, you do some social media digging, but now that content's really popular. ESPN is posting about wags all the time.
I mean, we see the player entrances, what players are wearing, their style, their fashion. People are getting involved and wanting to know is kind of deeper than what they're doing on the field.
Right.
What's interesting, I went to your social media, the Instagram, and it's not just players. It's also fans. I saw there was a cool story between the White Sox and the Cubs, and a fan, was it donating a kidney?
A kidney. A Cubs fan donated a kidney to a White Sox fan, which... That's harmony right there, right? That's beautiful. Overcoming the rivalry for something bigger. And sports really does bring out the best in humanity. I feel that every day. So we try and tell those stories.
Who's the most fashionable players? I mean, I would have a hard time believing it would be hockey players, your favorite sport, but who do you think is the most fashionable players as a group?
As a group, the NBA has some incredible fashion. NBA and WNBA. Let's go basketball.
Okay.
I feel like baseball needs to catch up a little bit.
Ooh, that's a hot take right there.
The fits.
Okay.
I'm kind of like a little bored when I see the baseball fits.
Okay, so what's the difference? What's the difference between like a basketball fit and a baseball fit?
Basketball, there's no rules. I mean, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, of course, just goes crazy. He's wearing very high-end, fashionable stuff. I think what is interesting.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, let's
Miguel
hold on.
Vargas, deep to left. It is out of here. Cue the fireworks. The Sox with a 2-run shot. And now take a 4-0 lead here in the third.
By the way, that's 550. If you took my advice, you go to the window.
All right, let's see some replays of this swing by Miguel Vargas.
Well, Castillo, having some problems with right-handers this year, has some more problems with Miguel. He rode it well out of the ballpark, up in the air in left field, and a no-doubter.
Lily, we got to keep you around in the booth because good things are happening. We like this. You got the White Sox jersey on, home runs leaving the yard.
Go Sox.
We can't have you leave the booth without talking about your first pitch. You threw out the first pitch today. How did you prepare and how did it go for you?
I didn't really prepare. I'll be fully honest. I should have prepared more. I know it's terrible. I'm kind of busy. I have a 3-year-old, 6-year-old, and a business, but I just showed up, and it could have gone worse. It was down the middle. It was high. It was a little short, but it was okay. And
it wasn't like a 50 Cent.
It wasn't, or like a Mariah Carey or a Travis Kelce. You guys got to go watch those. Those were horrendous.
That might be new content, comparing your first pitch to some other big celebrities.
There we go.
Here it is.
Love it. A little short.
It's okay. You got there.
It did not go right or left. Down the middle. We'll take it.
Lily Shimbashi, we really appreciate you having us coming into the booth, having you here. Sports-ish, a very cool platform, getting women involved in sports. Love what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
And keep it going, because we would like more women involved in sports, in every sport.
Every sport, yes. We will keep going. Thank you so much.
We're going to look for these baseball fits now to see if the guys catch up.
I know. They will. They'll take their time. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. So the second home run hit by the White Sox tonight. Colson Montgomery hit the first one, making it 2-0. It is now 4-0 Sox on top here in this bottom of the third inning. Colson Montgomery. This one to left center field. It is Rodriguez making the grab, and there's 2 away. I enjoyed that conversation with Lily, right? It's so great to get different people involved in the game of baseball and just the sports world in general. diversifying the fan base. It is a really cool thing she is doing.
And the best part about it is she's bringing some new fans to every sport, because the more you understand these sports, the more interested you're going to be in seeing the professional sports. It probably will start out maybe with high school and college sports and then into professional sports.
Challenge accepted, though, for baseball players to get their fashion game up. Chase Mydroth grounded out his first time up in the first inning. Behind the count here, 1 ball, 2 strikes. As the White Sox have had a good game plan going after Luis Castillo so far here tonight. And that one catching the corner, a called strike 3. But the Sox get 2 more. The big swing by Miguel Vargas, his 8th home run of the season. A blast to left, and the Sox lead it 4-0 after 3. Welcome back. We start this top of the 4th inning. This half inning is brought to you by Toyota. Big blast by Miguel Vargas. A 4-0 lead for Anthony Kay on the mound. That is a foul ball as Vargas slips and falls hard. But he shakes it off. And he can smile about it as we take another look.
Yeah, this one
gave out.
Yeah, he goes into foul territory, and this ball takes an unusual hop and comes up and gets a piece of him. So they go out, they check him out. He says, "I'm fine. I just hit a home run. Everything's okay."
So Rodriguez, who broke his bat on that swing, will get a new piece of wood. So Steve Stone told you that it was going to be Miguel Vargas today to go deep. Plus 550. It worked out.
Yeah, that's a pretty good number when you look at some of the other ones.
Slow roller. Vargas has to barehand this one. But no chance to get the speedy Rodriguez.
That's one you just don't want to throw.
All right, let's send it out to Connor. Take a look at what you got cooking in the ballpark.
John, one of my favorite days here in the ballpark. This home cooking segment's a good one. Brennan, first night at the ballpark for you this year.
Beautiful night, enjoying myself. Excellent sandwich, and we got some runs.
All right, Rod, you like the team this season?
Oh, I love the team. I'm trying in the right direction. I think it's going to be a good season.
All right, let's get into the sandwich. Take a bite. I mean, you already have. Guys, this is the first time in the history of the home cooking segment that I have been unable to stop anybody from eating this before we got on camera. That's how good the turkey and the slaw sandwich is. It's got the challah bread. It's got the good turkey, the bacon, the solid cheddar cheese, Louis sauce. You can get it here at the 300 level, the DB Kaplan Deli, or in the Stadium Club. When I tell you that this is the best sandwich that I've had at this ballpark in years, I am not lying. I ate the entire thing earlier. We're going to Sal, our closer, for the verdict. Sal, how's it taste?
Delicious. Great sandwich. Delicious.
It's absolutely fantastic. John Steve will send some up to you. I mean, you got to get one of these. You get to the ballpark this year.
Ooh, I like the look of that one. It was a challenge by the White Sox, unsuccessful. So the White Sox are down 1 challenge here the remainder of this game.
This is where the lefty advantage evens out, because you're 2-0 to a guy who's been very dangerous.
The speedster Julio Rodriguez on at first. Chop to Murakami, steps on the bag for 1. Montgomery has to apply the tag there. Double play turned by the Sox.
And when you make this play, everybody should yell tag him, because sometimes the shortstop is not sure if he tags first base or not. Rodriguez has no place to go. And a double play, Anthony Kay is ecstatic. It's our Steinhaffel's double play. Double plays that make a difference.
Nice glove work by Murakami to start off that double play. As Randy Arozarena steps in here. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Arozarena has started in left field every game so far this season. Up the middle. That was into left center field. So Arozarena with a 2-out base hit.
Had a big night last night. He had 3 hits. This is his first tonight. Looked like a change that caught too much of the plate. And he drives it into left center. Normally you have to worry about him as a stolen base threat because he's their best. He's 9 of 10 this year, but in a situation 4 runs down with 2 outs, I think he's staying right there.
Is this one of the best outings we have seen from Anthony Kay on the mound?
Well, I think so. I mean, he started off very good. Got out of a tough jam last inning. And this inning, the double play really helped him. So he's getting a little help from his defense. A great play by Antonacci in left field to get out of that first inning. Edgar Carroll made a terrific throw to cut down Rodriguez in the first. So the defense has been solid behind him, but he's throwing very well.
And he's keeping the ball down, which has been a key that you pointed out to start this night.
Yeah, you're going to have to keep it down most of this night unless the wind shifts, which it has a tendency to do. Normally, when it does get dark, and bear in mind, this game started a half hour earlier than the normal night game. But when it gets dark, normally the wind dies down.
Crawford, the shortstop, 0 for 1 tonight. Slashes this one to left. What a jump by Antonacci. He keeps getting better and better in left field, helping out Kay on the mound. Bottom of the 4th inning here at the rate. This half inning is brought to you by Davis Law. Had a good crowd last night to start the series against the Mariners. An even bigger crowd here on this Saturday night. It was a beautiful day in Chicago. Got a run around the lake. It was packed. People were out. It felt like summertime shy.
You don't get too many, so when they do come along, you certainly want to take advantage of it.
Let's just hope it comes along next weekend when the Cubs come down here to the south side. I want some sun, I want some warm temperatures, and I want plenty of runs for the White Sox.
And you're going to get a packed ballpark.
The energy, the momentum, it continues to build here behind this young White Sox team here in 2026. Can't do without the fans. You got to thank all the fans. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for tuning in to CHSN. This has certainly been a fun year of baseball. Going to the right side, backhanded by Naylor. He will keep it himself. And one away to start this bottom half of the 4th inning. Speaking of the Crosstown White Sox fans, Crosstown Series, it is coming to the south side. Grab your friends and family and head to Rate Field Friday, May 15th through Sunday, May 17th to cheer on your Chicago White Sox. There are great lower level tickets that are still available. So to purchase your Crosstown tickets, visit whitesox.com/tickets. For an entire weekend, Chicago is just taken over by baseball. And what makes the Crosstown different here on the south side, something as simple as the parking lot situation. You get a parking pass, you can tailgate, you can bring all your friends out. It feels almost like a football game, a very different environment when you come here to the Rate.
Well, there's a feeling of electricity all around the ballpark. Fans can certainly feel it. And you look forward to this all year long.
And then when both teams are playing well at the same time, there's a little extra buzz, a little extra energy in the building.
Good looking City Connect jerseys and a very nice crowd here tonight.
Tristan Peters. That's going to fall in front of a Rosarena. So Peters will pick up his first hit tonight with one out here in the 4th inning.
This ball just barely has the top of the strike zone, and Tristan takes it into left field. We have to play a little deeper than normal with the wind blowing out, and he was able to drop it in front of a Rosarena. Peters is 4 for 4 in stolen bases this year. The Sox are now 28-10. So the running game has been pretty good.
Randall Grichuk, who was picked up by the White Sox recently after being DFA'd by the Yankees. 34 years old. Former 24th overall pick by the Angels back in 2009. He has been around a while. And hitting his first home run in a White Sox uniform last night late in the game.
He also has been a pretty good power hitter during the course of his career. He wants to make sure that Mark Ripperger can tell the low strike by wearing very high pants.
That's about as high as they get. I think is that above the knee?
Looks like it.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. All right. That's a different look.
Grichuk hit the ball very hard the first time up. Hit it right at Rivas, but it was a rocket.
Two balls, two strikes. With Peters speed on at first. Did he go around? And he did indeed. Strike 3 called.
Mark Ripperger didn't need any type of help. This is a two-seam fastball that looked like it was going to be over the inside corner and then just darted in off the plate.
I know you were a pitcher and not a hitter, but sometimes maybe when you were off on the mound mentally, what could you do to reset, as Edgar Caro's a guy in the box who's kind of going through it?
A hard thing to do is to get your concentration, but a harder thing to do is to get it back again once having lost it. So one of the things that I tell young athletes, and I've worked with a few of them over the years, was pick your favorite shape. And some people will say circles and some people squares or rectangles. For me, it was a triangle. And I would put it on my glove. And when I started to waver as far as concentration, I would look at that triangle, and when the only thing in the world that existed was a triangle, I would make my pitch. What you're doing is boiling down your concentration to a very fine level. You regain it, you make your pitch, and it usually worked out pretty well.
So the shape doesn't matter, just whatever brings your brain back to the present moment.
Yeah, that's exactly what you have to do.
Applies to every athlete, any sport. You got to be able to concentrate and live in the moment.
It doesn't matter. And again, to get that laser focus that you really need is difficult, but you got 5 senses working against you to try to take you out of that concentration. You got to get it back.
And I've talked to Edgar Carroll about it. It is mental at this point. His swing is there, but he's just not seeing the results at the plate.
Well, he also knows that he's hit at every level he's ever been at, and he's been the youngest player most places. So you have to figure if you've hit everywhere, eventually you're going to hit here again.
Edgar Carroll, diving play by Young. He will rob him as his 4th inning comes to an end. What a beautiful day here in Chicago to enjoy some baseball. Fans are coming out here to the rate. Edgar Carroll gunning down runners. Couple of home runs. Montgomery, Vargas, both going deep. Fireworks getting set off. White Sox a 4-0 lead.
Follow our Sox at ChicagoSportsNetwork.com, presented by Nationwide Insurance Agent Jeff Vukovich. Get to enjoy knowing the Vuk as much as you do the jingle at JeffVuk.com, because Nationwide is on your side.
Good day to be at the ballpark. Basically hoodie weather. You don't need a big coat.
It's just beautiful. It was a great day, and it's turning into a wonderful night.
Top of the 5th, White Sox with a 4-0 lead. As Mitch Garver leads things off, bottom 3 in the order due up here for the Mariners. So Anthony Kay versus the Mariners. First time through the order. Mariners were 1 for 8 with a walk. So this 5th inning, this half inning, is brought to you by St. Xavier University. This second time through the order, hitters are 2 for 6 against Kay. Only giving up 3 hits in this ball game. Garver was able to reach on an error after that little dribbler that Kay was unable to fire to first in time.
Bullpen up and going. Josh Simpson getting loose. Castillo with a lot of pitches tonight. Mariners down by 4 in the bottom part of the order to face Anthony Kay.
Feels like this could be an important inning for Kay here. It's now at 75 pitches in the ball game, and you're facing the bottom 3 in the order, showing that you want to make quick work of them and not turn it over.
Look, if they hit you, there's nothing you can do, but the last thing he wants to do is start walking people, and then it goes around to the top, and you got to start facing the meat of the order.
So he does give up a walk, the second tonight here for Kay. Rate is a proud partner of the 2026 White Sox. The Rate app gives Chicago's fans an all-in-one wellness app with tools to build financial strength and guidance for fitness and stress management. Feel better, live better, play better. Download the Rate app today. Last time out for Kay was Sunday in San Diego. He gave up 3 runs, 2 of them earned. He went 5 innings, but there was no decision in that ball game for him. Tap to the right side, Murakami couldn't get it out of of his glove, and everybody's safe.
Look, you're 4 runs up in a situation like this. Take the out presented you. But Mooney was trying to get 2 before he got 1. Unfortunately, that one will open the door, and on the transfer, just couldn't get the handle.
So it will go E3 against Murakami as Leo Rivas steps in, bottom of the order for the Mariners. There's the bunt. Vargas fields at third. And the sacrifice bunt is successful for Rivas as both runners advance to second and third.
Grant Taylor throwing in the pen. Will knows he can't afford to let this one get away.
Third time up for Rob Refsnyder tonight. Garver walked. He's on third. Young reached with an error on at second. This one is driven into left field. Antonacci, a sliding play, tagging from third. The throw comes home and it'll be cut off as Garver scores, and the Mariners get on the board. It's 4-1 here in the 5th inning.
Sam's had a very good night in left field. This is a sinking line drive. He comes on to make the catch. Only the 4th run batted in for Refsnyder. And he makes sure there's no advancement from second.
Cal Raleigh 0 for 2 tonight, making it 0 for his last 27 at the plate.
This is really a key out because there's no way in the world you want to get to Rodriguez, who's starting to really heat it up. He's 2 for 2 tonight. You got to somehow get Raleigh and get out of the inning.
Big fastball upstairs, dialed up to 96, strike 1. They've been going with breaking balls and changeups. This will be pitch number 85 tonight from Anthony Kay.
This will make such a big difference because you get out of this. This is likely to be Anthony's last inning one way or the other. Get out of this and there would be no earned runs. It would be a very positive outing. But it all lies with retiring Raleigh and getting out of this inning.
Two from Kay. Off speed, missing low and away. What do you do here now to try to get Raleigh out in a full count?
Well, he's probably going to go to the high fastball. I like the changeup away. We'll see what works. With the fastball, he fouled it off. It was a very good at bat last time, which ended in a force out on a ground ball to short.
Feels like Kay's starting to empty the tank because that one up to 97.
Well, he's got it. Whatever he's got left, he's got to show it here because undoubtedly he's not coming out for next inning.
Here's the payoff. In there, called strike 3. Nicely done from Anthony Kay. The strikeout of Cal Raleigh.
Fine performance tonight, 5 strong, and out of the inning with a 3-run lead.
Welcome back. This half inning is brought to you by Prevagen. So Sam Antonacci, if you take a look at his helmet, you may have noticed that there's a piece of tape on it lately. He said it actually started back in JUCO as a superstition thing, and he's worn it at every level. When he first got called up to the bigs, he stopped using it because he was worried it wasn't exactly show. You know how they say that, they refer to the big leagues there, and it kind of looks like the helmet's broken, but now that he's more comfortable up here, he brought it back, and he was joking that it even became like a little trend in AAA. Said Corey Lee started doing something similar to it, but I think it fits him very well, guys. What do you think?
We were wondering, and Brooke to the rescue, got down to it. I think it fits him. Hard-nosed player. Looked like his helmet's cracked.
Well, also, look, this is a guy that doesn't mind getting hit. We told you about being hit 39 times last year. He got hit again in the 3rd inning, and so maybe if it was blue, it would suit the black sleeves and the uniform. He's one of those guys that's going to do anything he can to get on base because he knows that's his game. He's got to be a table setter. That's one of the reasons why he's been so effective in the leadoff spot. A new pitcher in the game, and Castillo's night is done. Simpson comes on. He inherits a 3-run deficit as the Sox try to lengthen it out a bit. This year, 2nd time. ERA not great.
Swing and a miss by Antonacci, and 1 down to start this bottom of the 5th. It's time now for a message from Echo. Munetaka Murakami stepping in 0 for 2 tonight. It's interesting, the numbers for Murakami, the first game of the series and then all the other games. In his first game of a series, he's hitting .383 with 9 home runs. Murakami in the air to right field. Rev Snyder will make the catch shy of the warning track as the entire crowd stood to their feet anytime Murakami drives the ball deep in the air.
He caught that ball pretty much off the end of the bat and didn't have a whole lot of carry. Now the wind has shifted just a bit, and it's blowing out toward right center field.
Miguel Vargas with a 2-run shot his last time up in the 3rd inning. We now have markers for these young players and moments where they took their career to another level. Colson Montgomery was when he was sent to the Arizona complex to change up his entire swing. For Miguel Vargas, it was April 23rd last year when he raised the hands, flattened the bat, started driving the ball more with force.
But what also helped was he gained a few pounds and got a lot stronger. And so because of that strength, the change in hand position allowed him to get to the ball more quickly, square it up. And he's off to a very good start. 8 home runs, 20 driven in.
Part of the fun of this season is watching these young guys grow up, seeing how they overcome early struggles collectively, and now they're all coming out of it as a group. As Montgomery and Vargas both going deep tonight. 0-2.
Nick Davila, just in case. Dan Wilson needs a right-hander.
Outside, ball 2 to Vargas. Bat speed almost 3 miles per hour faster than last year for Miguel Vargas. That's how he just keeps building on his swing and improving year to year. Two.
We'll take you back to the home run in the 3rd inning. Castillo knows he wanted that one inside a bit more, didn't get it there, and it cost him 2.
That sound off the bat, pitchers always know.
Don't even have to turn around. Most pitchers do on occasion, but pitchers who are attuned to that will just look at the ump and say, give me another one.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Been a couple of emergency hacks here for Miguel. Pitch before, he took it out of Garver's glove. This time he recognized the breaking ball and could just get enough of it to stay alive.
Lengthy at bat here for Miguel Vargas. Here's pitch number 9 on the way. Way inside. Two outs here, this home half of the 5th inning. 3-2. And another one fouled away.
This is a good battle as Vargas stays alive on some pretty good pitches. Pitch number 11 on the way.
He's letting his buddy Colson Montgomery get a lot of looks on deck if Vargas can reach here. Payoff pitch. This one is blasted. Vargas, back he goes. Get out. Second home run of the night for Miguel Vargas. What a night he is having. And it's now a 5-1 lead. Sox on top.
It took 11 pitches, and on the 11th he unloaded on this. A rocket that just kept on going. Wind or no wind, that's a home run anywhere. But watch it again. He gets a fastball, it's down the middle, and he just crushes it.
There's that sound again. For the 2nd time tonight for Miguel Vargas. He is fired up. Almost 113 miles per hour off the bat.
I mean, that's about as hard as you can hit it.
Montgomery attacking the first one, will fly this one to center to end this 5th inning. But Miguel Vargas, have yourself a night. Goes deep in the 3rd and again here in the 5th. Sox a 5-1 lead after 5.
So I hammer the road.
Gorgeous night here on the south side of Chicago. White Sox baseball on Chicago Sports Network is brought to you by Wintrust. Different approach, better results.
A new pitcher in the ball game. It is Grant Taylor. Fine job by Anthony Kay. 5 innings, no earned runs, and Taylor comes on for the 15th time. ERA of 2.79. He's been throwing it pretty well. The key will be, as usual, get the curveball over the plate.
He faces 3, 4, 5 in this Mariners order. Julio Rodriguez, couple singles. Rodriguez in his last 11 games against the White Sox coming into tonight, 5 home runs, 12 runs batted in.
When he's at the top of his game, this lineup is very productive.
Fifth year in Major League Baseball for Julio Rodriguez. Hard to believe he's still only 25 years old.
He's been a very good player for a while now.
Matched his career high with 32 home runs last year for the Mariners. As Taylor's got to be careful. The 1-2 pitch. Just off the edge. The count is now full. Top of the 6th. This half inning is brought to you by Elgin Hyundai. Good pitching performance from Anthony Kay. Gave up 1 run. It was unearned. And that one drops in there. Strike 3.
This time he elevates the curveball, and it just gets the top of the zone. You can see the spiked index finger. Thinks he can get better rotation on it. And he's got a better one than that. Like that.
Breaks it out to start the at-bat here against Josh Naylor. Naylor has that face where he always looks so calm and so unfazed at the plate. It's almost like, what are you thinking? He is one of the smartest players in the game. 0-2. Breaking ball on the ground to my drop. It makes the throw over, out number 2. Time now for a message from Ankin Law.
Howard, my dad was T-boned by a utility vehicle. What should I do?
Ankin Law is injury law made personal. If you've been hurt at work in a car accident or suffered a medical mistake, call 312-6-million.
Randy Arozarena up with 2 outs as he swings through that first one, strike 1. Singled his last time up in the 4th inning. We've seen some really sharp breaking balls from Taylor this inning.
Grant has very good stuff tonight.
To my drop again at second. A nice 1-2-3 6th inning for Grant Taylor coming on out of the bullpen. And the White Sox a 5-1 lead over the Mariners. Bring everyone out to the ballpark this season for Family Sundays presented by Coca-Cola. You can enjoy family-friendly activities, plus kids can run the bases after the game. Tickets start at just $12. To learn more and purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/Sunday.
New pitcher in the ball game, Nick Davila, on for the second time. There you look at the numbers.
Chase Mydroth starts things off. Strike one here to start this home half of the 6th inning. Well, Steve, we talked about it in news and notes earlier in the broadcast, and the entire baseball world is in mourning today. That is because we lost one of the best managers this game has ever seen. Bobby Cox, the longtime manager of the Braves, passed away at 84 years old. Won the World Series back in 1995. The first pro championship, sports championship in Atlanta's history. And he was just an incredible person. And Steve, I know he was known as a guy to really not just manage but develop players his way. He did things very differently.
Well, he did just about everything you can do in this game. And 4th all-time in wins.
Tapper to the left side. This one rolls foul.
There was one thing that maybe defined how he managed, and it was a young Andrew Jones who didn't hustle on a ball in right center field. I was at that game broadcasting it, and he called timeout, pointed to center field, and said pretty much, "Come here." Andrew didn't know who he was talking to, and he pointed to him again, and he came in. He said, "Take your uniform off, take a shower, we'll see you tomorrow." Next day, Andrew comes in the office and he says, "Look, I know you should have had that. You know you should have had that. And the only excuse, I think, is you have to be tired. And I can't play a tired player. You owe it to the fans."
Slow roller left side. Rivas charging. And nice play by Naylor at first.
And so he said, "Look, I'm going to give you a couple days off. And then when you're not tired anymore, you come and tell me." So we wound up giving him 3 days off. Andrew came in and said, "I want to play. I'm not tired anymore." He said, "Well, that's great. But I'm going to give you one more day just to make sure. So I know and you know that you're not tired anymore." Andrew hustled the rest of his career and made it to the Hall of Fame. But it was that kind of interaction between him and his players. Number one, they knew he cared about them. Number two, they knew that he was in control of the situation, and his players just didn't let him down. 14 straight division titles. One World Series because Mark Wohlers that year was the closer, and they didn't have real good closers in the other years. But what a manager he was, and I got a chance to know him very well. He was a very nice guy who knew this game backwards and forwards.
He was a front office guy before putting on the uniform and becoming a manager. And he is the reason for so many people loving the game, because if you grew up in the early 90s, you were watching the Braves. That was America's team, just like the Cowboys were America's team in the NFL. That's what the Braves were to baseball.
Well, he could get his point across without saying a great deal. They traded for Walt Weiss, who's become a very good manager, and Walt came to Atlanta. One of the early ground balls hit to him. He didn't get in front. He just backhanded the ball. It hit off the glove and went into left field. And Bobby called him in after the game and said, "We know where you came from, but here in Atlanta, we get in front of those."
Kelenic drives this one to left center field. It is caught by Rosarena, 2 away here in this 6th inning. 25 seasons with the Braves, and I just remember growing up just watching him just command everything. Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, Steve Avery, that rotation growing up as a kid, as a pitcher, I idolized them.
Well, they also had the 3 Hall of Famers and Steve Avery. I mean, he had a wonderful starting rotation, and he had Chipper Jones, one of the few 1-1s, first player taken in the draft to make the Hall of Fame. So he had Javi Lopez, a very good catcher. I mean,
Fred McGriff, first base.
He had
David Justice in the outfield.
Really good players, and he got the most out of all of them almost on a daily basis.
And it's certainly sad news for the Braves organization, because earlier this week Ted Turner passed away at the age of 87. Founded CNN, founded TBS, was the owner of the Braves, and really broadcast them to the entire country. He was before his time, turning the Braves into what they are today. Tristan Peters, his second hit today. He's going to try for two. The throw to second, offline. A 2-out double for Peters.
This double is brought to you by Elgin Hyundai, home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile double warranty. This is just flat-out hustle. When Tristan left the box, he's thinking two. As it turns out, he makes it rather easily.
Third double of the season for Tristan Peters. As Randall Grichuk steps in with two down. Did his pants get a little higher?
I'm not sure they could get much higher. Because of course you wore shorts, but there are some hitters who like to do that. They think it helps them pretty much with that low strike.
Grichuk sends this one in the air to right field. Ref Snyder is there. That'll do it for this 6. Well, we lost a great one across the baseball world today. Bobby Cox, the incredible manager of the Braves, passed away at 84 years old.
More of that.
Top of the 7th we go. White Sox a 5-1 lead over the Mariners, trying to even up this series here in game 2 as Grant Taylor comes out for his second inning of work.
Crawford hit the ball very hard last time, only to line out to Antonacci in left field. Sam's had a very good night defensively.
One of the more impressive plays that I thought Antonacci make was a liner hit right at him, where he jumped and broke right away to the ball. Didn't have to slide, so it wasn't as dramatic, but you can just tell the way his mind is thinking out there, starting to get comfortable in left field.
Yeah, it's just a question of reps. I mean, the Sox have worked him out quite a bit in left field, learning the intricacies, and once you master the fact that everything hit to you is going toward the line, whether it's a right-hand hitter or a left-hand hitter, it's going to go toward the left field line.
Caro wanted that one.
Didn't miss by much, but it did miss.
White Sox are out of challenges the remainder of this ball game. Mariners still have 2. Fastball, take a seat.
This is a beauty. It's 98. It's in the middle of the plate. But Crawford probably thinking about that overhand hook. And he got frozen on a fastball.
Second strikeout tonight for Taylor as he faces Mitch Garver. Garver walked and scored the only run of the game for the Mariners back in the 5th inning. If you're just joining us, it has been the long ball tonight for the Sox. Colson Montgomery, a 2-run shot in the 1st. Miguel Vargas, a 2-run shot in the 3rd. And he hit another one, a solo shot in the 5th, making it a 5-1 game.
all the runs on the long ball, as the Sox are prone to do.
One, two. This one is yanked foul.
One of the reasons why Grant is pretty tough to hit is that not only does he throw in the high 90s, but there's some deception. He drops the ball behind his back, comes up straight over the top. You don't find a lot of pitchers in this league with that kind of delivery. Oh, and then he's got one of those.
Filthy stuff. Back-to-back strikeouts.
After a couple of blazing fastballs, he goes to the hook. And you see Garver well over the top of that one.
Steve, what a weapon Grant Taylor has turned into, that you can go and throw him 2 innings and just eat up and get you later into this game.
He's been very good this year. The curve has been pretty consistent, and when you mix it in with a high 90s fastball, if he doesn't make a drastic mistake in the middle of the plate, you got problems.
And credit to Chris Getz, general manager of this White Sox team. In the offseason, he understood he has some talented arms in the bullpen like Grant Taylor. So to give them help, went out and signed Sir Anthony Dominguez to close things down. And when you have a designated closer, other guys can understand what their role is into getting to that 9th inning.
One of the things that Chris said was last year you had a lot of guys getting opportunities to close that wouldn't necessarily get them. And he felt with now Dominguez at the back end, it'll help all of those guys getting to Dominguez. The quality setup men are equally as valuable, because if you can't set up, then the closer is a non-entity.
All right, so a 2-out walk. Let's go to Connor for a trip down on the farm.
All right, John Hagen-Smith won minor league pitcher of the month for the White Sox. He went tonight for the Charlotte Knights. Kind of a weird night for Hagen. Went through 4 clean enough. A lot of runners came into the 5th. The line is probably worse than the outing was. Braden Montgomery, 2 for 4 tonight in Charlotte, continues hitting at the highest level of the minors.
Well, I know Braden has always hit well against the jumbo shrimp, so tonight is no surprise. There are some great minor league names, by the way, for their baseball teams.
Names, hats, jerseys. And just think, at some point this season, we could see 2 Montgomerys on this roster for the White Sox.
Well, I think it's just a matter of time. Grant's got to get that concentration back again.
Two-0 count here to the bottom of the order. Leo Rivas. I love that story you told about concentration and drawing a symbol on your glove and just having something to refocus you on the mound.
Well, you're standing out there, and sometimes for whatever reason, and who knows, something pops into your mind that's not productive. It's taking you away from that concentration, and you've got to find a way to quickly get it back again. And so I decided the best way to do it was find something that you could concentrate on, wipe everything out of your mind except for what you're looking at. And when that happens, because you've made hundreds of thousands of pitches in your life, you get that concentration back and you make your pitch.
So many ways to do it. 2-2 from Taylor. Ooh. Mark Rippinger has been pretty good behind the plate tonight. Runner goes 3-2 on the ground, and Mydroth. 2 innings, well done for Grant Taylor. Keep this one moving. Time to stretch. Are you ready for your winning moment? Find it at Wind Creek Chicago Southland, where the action never stops. Play the hottest table games, enjoy the newest slots, and celebrate big jackpots. At Wind Creek, there's a win waiting for you around every corner. Steve, take a look at this crowd on the concourse. This place is jammed tonight. 25,438. The rate is the place to be on Saturday night here in Chicago.
Well, it was just a beautiful day heading into a beautiful night, and the Sox are playing exciting baseball. Is it perfect baseball? No, it's not going to be that, but it sure is exciting as Jose Suarez comes on for the 9th time. ERA just under 4.
Edgar Caro, bottom of the order, starts things off. Hit it hard his last time up, but he was robbed by a diving play at second by Young.
Unfortunately, when you are struggling, it feels to you like there's 15 defenders when you hit the ball. There's always somebody in front of something you hit hard. I would think this would be a better at bat. Because he hit the ball very hard last time, he got robbed. You can't control that. All you can do is hit the ball hard, and he's moving to his strong side. A little better hitter from the right side than the left.
It's pitches like that where hitter count kind of knows what's coming, but he's fouling them off instead of driving them in play.
Well, the anatomy of a slump is being in between. You're a little tardy on the fastball and a little out in front of the off-speed stuff.
This one gets past Young into right field as Edgar Caro comes up with his first hit tonight.
I think what you're seeing is a young hitter who's been struggling, and now he's hit 2 in a row about as hard as you can hit him. This one finds a hole. Was robbed the time before, but Edgar is too good a hitter to stay here for long.
So the leadoff man on as Antonacci puts down the bunt. Rivas fields at third, will come to first with it. Nice job by Antonacci to move Caro into scoring position here in this 7th inning. Head to the ballpark next Friday, May 15th, as we take on the Cubs at 6:40 p.m. Catch the White Sox in their iconic City Connect uniforms for this crosstown rivalry. Plus, stick around for a post-game fireworks show presented by Rate. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/city. I stuck around last night. Fireworks were epic. First one missing down, ball 1 to Munetaka Murakami, who is 0 for 3 tonight. So last time he was up, I was talking about his numbers in game 1 of a series where he's hitting .383 on the season versus all other games coming into tonight hitting .159 with 6 home runs. The big difference also his strikeout percentage in game 1 versus all other games in the series. This one rolls foul. So his strikeout percentage is under 13% in game 1, which was last night. And all others 47% strikeout percentage.
Well, that's something again as he gets to know pitchers, because you can look at the machines all you want to simulate how a pitcher looks, but there you see the radical disparity between series openers.
It is time to have some fun.
Well, you know, if it's not a strike, he's probably not going to be swinging because he will take a walk.
The pitch to Murakami. Big hack, but fouls it away.
Torres knew that because he threw a breaking ball on 3-1. Ryan Hudson loosening in the pen. 2 innings for Grant Taylor, and he was overwhelming.
3-2 pitch. Murakami goes down swinging. Can he make it 3 as Miguel Vargas walks to the dish? Home runs in his last 2 at-bats. The last White Sox player to have a game with 3 home runs, our friend Seby Zavala, did it back in 2021.
That was, as it turned out, a career highlight for Seby.
Those were the first 3 career home runs for him.
Hardest hit balls at the rate this season, the last 2 nights.
That ball hit by Vargas back in the 5th. That was the hardest hit ball of his career.
I'm surprised they're even pitching to him. It's 3-0. He hasn't thrown anything close.
So a 4-pitch walk. That White Sox walk is presented by IDOT. You drive, you text, you pay. It's not a game. But because this lineup is so deep now, it's hard to pitch around guys. You got Colson Montgomery stepping up to the plate.
Well, it's still a lefty-lefty situation, and the way Miguel has been hitting it tonight, I don't blame Suarez. He wasn't giving him anything hittable, even on 3-0.
I've asked Colson Montgomery multiple times what he feels in the box, a lefty-lefty situation. He said, I don't even notice a difference. He said, I'm just looking for the ball, thinking about my plan of attack. I don't even notice that there's a lefty versus a righty on the mound.
He's gotten so much better as he's moved along, and you'd expect he'd get better about, I don't know, half a season moving forward.
He already has a home run tonight, a 2-run shot, giving the White Sox a 2-0 lead in the 1st inning. Try to go for number 2 there. Maybe it's the young guys opening up a couple buttons on the jersey, working for them tonight.
Well, he has almost a 44% hard hit rate, and for a young hitter, that's very good.
Pitch by Suarez there.
He had Colson looking for a fastball, and he got the straight change.
Sox looking to add more runs late here in the 7th inning. One ball, 2 strikes. It appeared like Suarez was still looking at Caro at second as he went into his delivery and then came and located the plate.
Well, the problem was he didn't locate it soon enough, because that was way off the plate.
That looks home the entire way as Montgomery goes down swinging. That'll do it for the 7th. White Sox a 4-run lead.
The Chicago White Sox and GovX are proud to honor our hero of the game. Tonight we pay tribute to Staff Sergeant Jasmine Salazar of the United States Air Force.
Coming back, new pitcher in the ballgame here for the White Sox.
Brian Hudson on for the 19th time. He's been very good. The ERA at 2.84. See the rest of the numbers.
Faces top of the order, Rob Refsnyder. Happy belated birthday to Brian Hudson. He is now 29 years old. His birthday was yesterday.
14 2/3 innings, scoreless streaks.
Vargas on the move, makes the throw across the diamond. One away to start this 8th inning. How about the night for Anthony Kay?
Yeah, we'll take a look at how he got it done, because the changeup was outstanding. Struck out the first 2 hitters of the game with that straight change. Thought it was so good that he went back to it and got another. Then a sweeper. 5 innings, no earned runs, only 3 hits, a couple of walks, and 5 strikeouts. There's a swings and misses, 7 of pitches to get him. And by the way, the man who helps us with just about everything when we have any problems with acquiring things at the ballpark, Chris Quintana, celebrating a birthday today. We'd like to wish him a happy birthday.
CQ, you're the best. We love you, brother. There's so many things around the ballpark, and especially for this broadcast as well.
So many things to help us, which is just great. Between us and the radio crew, he's got his hands full also.
Between you and me. Cal Raleigh is 0 for 3 tonight. Now 0 for his last 28 at the plate. Look at that cutie.
For Hudson, that 4-seam fastball and rediscovering it has really made a huge difference.
Popped up into shallow center. It is Peters coming in, and there's out number 2. It's time now for a message from Echo.
It's time to go yard. Echo, power on and on.
Feels like we're starting to see roles develop in the bullpen, and the recipe for success. Grant Taylor goes 2. Hudson here comes on in the 8th to set it up for Dominguez in the 9th.
Well, the only question will be what Will decides to do. The reason being, it's not a save situation, and there's a day game tomorrow.
Hudson being careful here with Julio Rodriguez. Does find the zone, strike 1.
Tomorrow at Rate Field, it's Kids Sunday on CHSN. Get ready for a broadcast packed with fun, including a special lineup announcer, unique graphics, and a spotlight on the White Sox Ace program. It's a day made for young Sox fans, so stream it on the CHSN app, Chicago Sports Network.
It's a fun broadcast. We get kids involved. We have a youngster read the lineup. That's got to be a thrill for them. White Sox came into play tonight just a half game back in the AL Central. It is a very compact race right now in the AL Central. 3 teams were tied for the lead, and the Tigers and Royals squaring off tonight. Royals getting a 5-1 win in Kansas City. In the air down the line in left field, and Tanachi goes off his glove, but it was in foul territory, so a foul ball.
And we talked about getting used to everything going toward the line, and that ball started off in fair territory for a long time. The wind pushes it away, and fortunately it was in foul territory.
So with the foul ball, no play.
Now they're going to talk about it.
A foul ball. Seattle has challenged.
The last look we saw, I wasn't positive it was in foul territory.
It was really close. But look, for Dan Wilson, you're in the 8th inning. There's no carryovers. You don't get more tomorrow if you don't use them tonight, so you might as well challenge.
All right, so this is our Northwestern Medicine Manager's Challenge. We're taking a second look at the play. It's always a good idea to get a second opinion. Get yours at Northwestern Medicine.
This is going to be a little difficult to look at because you got Dan Bellino on the call. Karam's off of Antonacci's glove as the wind was taking it away from him.
Is there going to be a definitive look that's going to be able to overturn this call? That's the question.
And it's also where the ball is.
Correct.
Not where the player is.
It's so hard to determine at that point because there's not that angle directly down the line.
And it was ruled a foul ball initially.
So Naylor looking on at the big screen here at right field as we all wait for the decision. The control room in New York. The command center looking at all the angles to see what they will decide to do here. Can understand why this one's taking a little longer.
I mean, it's not only a difficult call initially, but it's a difficult call when you review it because it's really hard to tell exactly where the ball was.
All right, so this is the best look down the line. And even there, is it clear where it's going to land? Kind of feels like a call stands.
Well, from that angle, it looked like it was foul. From the other angle, you could make a case for it being in fair territory, but we'll have to see what they come up with. Call stands would be nice.
After review, the ruling on the field is overturned. It is a fair ball. The runners will be placed at first and third. Seattle will retain its challenge.
All right, so the call is overturned. A successful challenge by the Mariners, and that has ruled a single for Josh Naylor.
I think what Dan Wilson is arguing is it should be second and third. But when Naylor stopped running, it's difficult to then place him at second base.
And throughout all of this, Brian Hudson has been waiting on the mound. as the temperatures are dropping here in Chicago. All right, back to live baseball. Runners on at first and third. Hudson comes to the plate, and strike one to Randy Arozarena. Strike two. Crowd getting into it. And a late time called as Hudson was already going through his delivery.
I think the last pitch that Hudson made, Arozarena wasn't ready for it. So this time he decided to call a time. It was late, but it was granted by Mark Ripperger.
Oh, 2. Got him swinging. Brian Hudson is fired up as his scoreless streak continues. It's over 15 innings strong now.
Biggest pitch of the ball game to this point. And he cuts him down on strikes. Time now for the Toyota Let's Go Places upcoming schedule. And it's Seattle here for one more day game tomorrow with the off day on Monday. Then Kansas City and the Cubs end this homestand before heading out and seeing these same Mariners in Seattle. Then an off day, and it's the Giants next.
Rivas at third as Chase Mydroth, he is digging for 2. Arozarena gets it out of the corner. A leadoff double to start this home half of the 8th.
Dominguez is throwing in the bullpen, but if the Sox do score here, it'll be interesting to see if he comes in the game. Suarez throws what appears to be a cutter, tries to get it inside, doesn't get there, and no chance at all for Rivas at third. That is a pretty big insurance run late in the game out at second base.
Jared Kelenic shows bunt, pulls it back.
You want to make sure that if you do bunt it, you're going to bunt it right at Rivas and make sure he fields it.
That one misses as well. 2-0 the count. Mydroth's leadoff double extends his hitting streak to now 9 games in a row, the longest by a White Sox player this season.
He waited for a while, and if this run scores, I don't believe it's going to be Dominguez with the day game tomorrow.
2-0. Kelenic pulls it back again. It is now 3-0. And Steve, to your point, Tyler Schweitzer is now up and throwing with Dominguez. So Will Venable will have some options.
Yeah, he'll be the guy if they can push Mydroth across.
A 4-pitch walk as Kelenic was trying to put the bunt down. It is time to check in on what the guys got cooking for the White Sox post-game show presented by Yingling. We check in with our guys, Chuck and Ozzie.
Thanks, John. We've got home runs cooking. Anthony Kay looked really good, and Sam Antonacci doing a little bit of everything here tonight.
Antonacci's been good since he's with his uniform. Played very well. How about Vargas?
Vargas.
Really? Good for him. He got a good swing down there. And, Kay threw the ball good. I'm very happy for him. Threw the ball way better than he was doing in the past.
All right. Much to get to on the post-game show. Back over to you guys.
All right, Chuck, Ozzie, appreciate that. Tristan Peters, he will put the bunt down the third baseline as Rivas makes the throw, and the White Sox have a couple of runners in scoring position here with 1 out in the 8th.
very good bunt because he made sure that Rivas only had one play, and that was to first base. So both runners move up. We'll watch it again. Tristan has proven to be a very good bunter. The object of a bunt is you keep the head of the bat up, you try to catch the ball with the bat and deaden it, and that's exactly what he did.
Infield for the Mariners comes in, trying to keep this a 4-run game. DH tonight, Randall Grichuk. If you're joining us late, Andrew Benintendi was in the starting lineup, but he was a late scratch with a sore neck. And Randall Grichuk was his replacement, DHing here to start this game. Oh-2. There's Benintendi talking to Kyle Teal. One out here in this 8th inning.
Garver couldn't locate it. He actually got hit on the foot by that.
He was very fortunate.
Yep. It's a slider. And he can't locate where the ball is.
Did that hit Grichuk? That's what it looked like initially.
Maybe the appeal is going to be there. It looked like it might have caught the foot.
By the pitch, and Chicago has challenged. The previous play is under review.
All right, so Will Venable is going to challenge that because off that replay, it looked like the carom was off of Grichuk's foot.
And then he hit Garver, so it could be 2 for the price of 1. There you see the slider. Looked like it might have hit the front foot.
Yeah.
But the break was, it also was stopped by Ripperger, because it clearly got by Garver.
What was interesting is that we didn't see a strong reaction from Grichuk.
Now, normally, if you want to buy this call, you start hopping around. But right there,
after review, the
it's
ruling
stopped.
on the field is overturned. The batter was hit by the pitch. Yep. Will be awarded first base, and Chicago will retain its challenge.
So a nice job by Will Venable, a successful challenge, and the bases are now loaded for Edgar Caro. Steve, last 2 times Caro has hit the ball hard to the right side. He was robbed in the 3rd, but he got his single back in the 7th.
Well, we talked about the early play that he made in gunning down Rodriguez at second, and sometimes it's a defensive play that can help shake you out of an offensive slump. Here's a situation where you play Who Wants to Be a Hero, and let's see if it's Edgar. Pete Woodworth has his say. Looks like most likely they're going to come home if it's hit to the corners and try the second to first if it's hit to the middle.
Bases loaded for Edgar Caro. Still just 1 out here in this bottom of the 8th inning. And there's strike 2. A run here would be huge, potentially saving Dominguez from coming out in the 9th. 0-2. Popped up. See if Naylor has room. No, it gets out of play.
There's a very happy fan.
Letting everybody know she got it.
Hang around long enough, get yourself a souvenir.
Nothing but fastballs here in this at bat to Edgar Caro. Oh, 2 pitch.
That was the most hittable of the fastballs, and Edgar is just smiling because he knew he let that one get away. What Jersley is telling the base runners is make the line drive go through.
0-2. Carroll thought about it, but held off for ball 1. Surprised at the sequence? Nothing but fastballs here?
No, because I think at this point that's the book on Edgar is throw high fastballs. We'll see how he adjusts.
Off-speed pitch as the changeup misses ball 2. Everybody locked in tonight. Over 25,000 fans here at Wright Field. 2-2. In the air to right field. It is Young and Refsnyder, and nobody catches it. The throw to second, they get the force out, but Mydroth will score.
That's a very tough play, and someone has to take control. Normally, it would be the right fielder. But we told you the wind is very much a factor. Young goes out. Refsnyder comes in. And what you can't see is Refsnyder calling for it. They do get the force, but the Sox get the run.
So a fielder's choice, 9-3-6, and an RBI awarded to Edgar Caro. That big insurance run, giving the Sox a 5-run lead here in this 8th inning. Also shows you the IQ of Naylor at first. Immediately, as soon as he got to that ball, went firing to second to get the out.
Well, you had 3 guys converging on the same play. And the base runners are stuck. I mean, they don't want to get doubled up, taken out of the inning, and not score anything.
Not exactly how the Sox drew that one up, but the run scores nonetheless. And Steve, to your point, Dominguez is now down. And it's Schweitzer who's still throwing. One-two. Down the line in left field and slicing out of play.
There's Sir Anthony, got the jacket on, relaxing, and assuming everything goes right, he'll be ready tomorrow.
One-two. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The White Sox get a key insurance run, a 5-run lead heading to the 9th. Montgomery continues to stay hot at the plate.
I'm going with Vargas. That's the value play at plus 550.
Get it out of here. Cue the fireworks.
By the way, that's 550. If you took my advice, you go to the window.
Second home run of the night for Miguel Vargas. What a night he is having. Smiles all around. 3 home runs by the White Sox and a 6-1 lead as we start this ninth.
Tyler Schweitzer comes on. 1 game. 1 1/3, 344.
So second major league appearance for Schweitzer. Made his big league debut for the White Sox April 8th against Baltimore. Was sent down and then recently called back up. Vargas goes down to a knee, bobbles, gets it again, and a good scoop by Murakami. 1 away to start this ninth.
Miguel didn't panic at all when he didn't catch that ball initially, and a good pick on the back end by Monet. Ball's hit hard. Knows he's got some time. And a big first out.
Vargas pointing at Murakami. Nice scoop at first as Garver swings through the first one, strike 1. How about the wild score tonight? Blue Jays with a 14-1 win over the Angels earlier today.
Well, you save your closer. That's good.
The Reds picked up their first win of May, ending their losing streak with a 3-1 win over the Astros.
How are those Rangers doing tonight?
Fly ball, right center field. It is Kelnick with the catch, and the Sox are 1 out away from wrapping this one up. Yeah, the Rangers, a 6-0 win over the Cubbies.
The 10-game winning streak goes by the boards.
One more score for you. Blake Snell making his season debut for the Dodgers, playing the Braves, and the Braves touched them up early. 5-0 lead for the Braves in the 3rd inning. Fans here at the rate rising to their feet, looking for the final out here tonight. Big fastball from Schweitzer, strike 1. It's been a fun game tonight.
One of those games where a lot of things went right for the Sox. Kay was terrific in 5 innings. They hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Tapper up over the middle. Montgomery, this will do it. Ball game. Sox with a 6-1 win over the Mariners, and this series is even at 1-1.
Sox will have the 3rd final and rubber game tomorrow. They out-hit Seattle 9-4. Made a couple of errors, but they made big defensive plays when they had to. And the long ball was certainly in evidence. Southpaw likes it. I like it. Get your rest. It's a day game and an early, quick turnaround.
Nicely done by Anthony Kay. It feels like he got back on track. And 3 long balls. Colson Montgomery and a twofer for Miguel Vargas tonight. We loved this effort. It is a final. White Sox win it 6-1 over the Mariners. For Brooke Fletcher, Connor McKnight, my guy Steve Stone, I am John Schriffen. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday night with us here on CHSN. And it's time now for the White Sox postgame live presented by Yingling. Chuck, Ozzie, guys, it's all yours.
All right, there is so much to like about this game, and we're going to talk about it all on the postgame show. But here's the one thing that pops in my mind first. Mariners scored 12 runs last night. Their offense was popping. They get 1 here tonight.
Well, yeah, it's funny thing because when you have that type of offense, all of a sudden the next day, K is being struggled. The last couple of stars, last time was good. Before that one. But it's like, what kind of ball club we going to see? What kind of pitching we going to see? And they hold them very well.
All right, Miguel Vargas, 2 home runs. Colson Montgomery went deep as well. And Sam Antonacci did some special things. He's my pick to click. I'm trying to win pick to click. And also very.
By the way, everybody down there had a sweatshirt. They got a coat. and you say, I feel good.
I feel great. I feel even better after White Sox wins. We have a winning edition of White Sox Postgame Live on your television sets and on the CHSN app. It is coming your way. Don't go anywhere. It's Ozzie and me. We're joining you next.
3 rows.